Let's look at this next one. This one excites me the most as a navigator who we talk about worship being kind of the primary environment. And in most places, that still is true. And then it's like, hey, we want people in community. We want people to do this. And then there's adult education environments. You say it's not your grandma's Sunday school. And there's a little bit of a revival of the on-campus small group setup. Talk to us about that, Dave.
Oh, my goodness. What's been crazy is as I've talked to churches across the country, I think it's this unsaid secret. I think nobody talks about it, but it's so real. Back in the 80s and 90s, like the whole small group boom really started to take place, and then apparently Willow Creek was incredibly successful with it. And so everybody started to do the small group, which was a huge win because now I don't have to leverage lots of dollars to build classrooms.
Well,
right?
Willow Creek, Saddleback, North,
all of them. Yeah.
The models at that time were saying, let's go off campus.
But you know what's crazy? As I go, again, I'm talking with hundreds of churches a year.
Yeah.
They're all telling me that they can't seem to get small groups to really work.
Right.
Like front facing. Oh yeah. Small groups are amazing. It changes lives. But I mean, really, it's just, especially for, the young couples with like, ankle biters and, little toddlers, in their family, going to a house where there's sometimes the kids outnumber the adults, it's just, if you could even crack open the Bible once without, an interruption, I mean, that's just a great night, so there may be some churches out there, and occasionally we run into them that are like small groups are killing it. We've got 90% of our, Sunday morning attendance in small groups. And there are those churches out there for sure, but the majority are really struggling. And so we're starting to see this trend toward, you know what? Let's just call it, we've got them for a block on Sunday morning, and it's easier to get them for an extra hour on Sunday morning than it is for them to come out on a Monday night or Tuesday night or Wednesday night. Plus we've already got built-in childcare. So let's go ahead and leverage it and do our small groups on Sunday morning when they already have childcare. And let's not set up these typical lecture style Sunday school classrooms, but what if we had space, like a hallway of just like living room environments?
Yeah.
That just looks amazing, Yeah.
And
we're starting to see that happen.
It's almost like the model was the right model, to be in a relational, not transactional. They don't need another lecture. They just got a lecture,
right.
But a relational environment that was the right model at home, but it was the wrong location for many families, especially young families.
Yeah.
Because I know of a pastor who stood up and said, look, we've tried reimbursing childcare. We've tried putting childcare up here. We've tried, doing all these things. And it's just, I'm tired of pretending that off-campus groups work for young families.
That's exactly what I'm hearing, Brian. It's like, everybody seems to be pretending that it works. And again, I'm not like,
kind
of
gaslighting ourselves until it actually does work. Like if we just try a little bit harder.
Nobody wants to say they're failing at small groups, but
Now there are situations where, also like regional churches. I know I've got a friend on here who's in the Cincinnati area, and their church is a very regional church. Right. I was with a church in the Nashville area this week working on their vision clarity process. They're a very regional church. And so it doesn't even make sense in that trend to say, hey, if we're regional, if people are driving 25, 35, 45 minutes, then capturing the time we have while they're here on campus and while we have great, not just childcare, but children's ministry happening, there's a great way we can facilitate that. By the way, midweek is not dead. These adult education living room settings, if you can put parents in a group on Wednesday nights or midweek while their kids are in great ministry environments, I promise you'll start to see engagement go up because they know their kids have great environments. You're giving them time to be with other parents and really leaning around God's word. I mean, it's really kind of fun to see this, Dave. I'm glad.
And this, Brian, I think we even have it. New Vision in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, really just said, we're going to put our money where our mouth is. Oh, there's North Central. There's a great group environment. Looks great.
Yeah.
But yeah, New Vision in Murfreesboro, they said, we're going to put our money where our mouth is, and we're going to build an adult education building, and it's honestly one of the first of its kind. These guys are groundbreaking in every way. You know, they're like, the groups building is basically going to be an entire building of just living room environments, along with a really cool rooftop deck that I think is amazing.
I think we got a little animation. There's the
Oh,
roof.
look at that. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of the rooftop. And then what you're saying here, I think they have like 24 of
Yep.
these living rooms really focused specifically on young families. I think they're prioritizing families with young children because that's really where the big need is.
Yep.
And so it's not a classroom environment. I love the porches and love the kind of the modularity of it.
I think likely in most churches, there's one or two rooms that you could really go, you know what, let's really change this room or this environment and turn it into a great living room environment. You even know in your church when you have meetings or you have like impromptu staff meetings, like you get a couple of people together, you guys naturally gravitate toward those environments to meet, you know? Yeah. So if you could leverage a couple of spaces or rooms in your building just to do that, I think you'd start to see those rooms would be in high demand.
Yeah. I love it. I love that terrace space too, because some groups like to meet out there, right? Get the fire pit out.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
really good.